This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review the Obi-Wan Kenobi finale, plus Marvel Studios returning to Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con. Thor Love and Thunder early reactions are out. Sony misses the point of Kraven the Hunter. Netflix is giving us a real-life game show based on Squid Game and more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, June 27th, 2022.
Hey, what's up? It's Taylor Gray, the voice of Ezra Bridger on Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up.
Jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
What's up, listener? Hello, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And joining us, the galaxy's grumpiest Jedi. It's Darth Ridiculous, but we call him Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
I am your father's sister's brother.
I'm your father's uncle's barber. Just grumpy Jedi all over the place. Anthony, how are you? I'm an asshole, and I never ask you how you're doing. People want to know.
Does anyone ask?
Do they?
Does anyone?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I read that
fine.
wrong.
Because we just assume he's doing great. You
Out of
know?
all of us, Anthony's living the best life. I can say that for 100% certainty.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
100%.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue against it. No, I think I'm living all right.
Yeah. No, we all wish we were Anthony. That's
That's
just
right.
Facts. Big facts. No cap there, son.
Yes.
I do live a pretty good life. I walk around painted green, serving bar drinks shirtless. So that's my
Yeah,
life.
Like Anthony.
Why like Anthony in the cantina? You didn't get blown up when they blew up that bar.
That's got to be this year's Halloween costume,
That's
Anthony.
a great look at
Like,
Anthony with the Star Wars callback too.
The nation
Fantastic.
needs this.
Yes.
All right?
Oh, gosh.
You got to
Oh
get
my
dressed
god!
as
Oh my
Twilight.
god!
Oh, shit.
Twilight Anthony for Halloween Nation. Get it done. Spray on some abs and put some pantyhose stuff with cotton tied to your head. It's done. Dyed in green from Boba Fett. All right.
People would be very confused if I was walking
You're
around
like,
like that.
are you a Star Wars character? No, I
No,
am.
they,
the
yeah, I
Jock.
don't know what they'd be like, what is going on?
I'm a Jock. Can't you tell?
Yeah.
Great Star Wars reference, though, Anthony, ties into the review. I like how you did that.
Yeah.
But before that, there's a bunch of stuff I need to discuss with you fellas. Let's hit it.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Kevin Feige recently confirmed Marvel Studios is, for the first time in 3 years, returning to the Hall H panel at San Diego Comic-Con.
Geek Boner.
That will have an in-person event this year. San Diego Comic-Con 2020 and 2021 in-persons were canceled because of the thing. Remember the thing? They did do a small Thanksgiving event 2021. I don't know. It wasn't huge. And Marvel was sitting all these out, right? But they have Disney Plus Day, but they're going to be back at Hall H. Are you excited? That gives me geek boner. What do you want to see from them? Anthony, comment.
Am I excited? Only if they're going to actually do something where they're going to announce things. If they're not announcing things, then I wouldn't be as excited. But usually when they come to Hall H, they do have some sort of announcement or some sort of presentation. So I'm as excited as someone can be that's not actually going to be in attendance and probably won't watch it live unless
I'm pumped.
someone tells me
Me
what's
too.
going on.
Look, I miss our San Diego recap post podcast.
Oh, yeah,
Those
we
are
used to do those shows. I
those
forgot.
are always fun. And you're right. If Marvel's coming, they got to come big. Although there's a tweet from Steven Weintraub from Collider who says he's been sitting on this news for months and he's heard they're only bringing one movie. He speculates that it's Black Panther, but he said, I don't know what movie it is.
Yeah, probably.
Because that is the last MCU movie on the calendar year that is going to be released. Ruggs, what do you want to see? Do you want to hear about the next? I feel like they're going to talk about the next big saga, right? The next big crossover, the next big phase.
I keep thinking that Guardians of the Galaxy has to have something to do with it because they're not they're going more cosmic and they're going like across all the multiverses, and that could be, Ant-Man 3 might also be that.
Yeah,
but
with Kang.
Yeah, with Kang. So those are going to be clutch things to see. Black Panther too. It's just the big thing with that is how are they going to continue the legacy?
Yeah, Wakanda Forever. What is this about?
I have an idea. What Disney's going to do. It's going to be, all the female characters are going to come into the forefront, and then we'll eventually find out if Black Panther continues as a moniker.
I still think they should recast T'Challa at some point.
Yeah, I think I'm over it. Let's go.
Right.
I mean, we need to, continue this.
But
character.
if they're going to acknowledge it in this next movie, maybe you take a movie to pay tribute and then you pull them in from the multiverse. I don't know. Another T'Challa.
I wonder what they'll do if they're actually just going to say like this character doesn't exist anymore, or if like maybe they write him out as like he went on a mission somewhere or got captured in another dimension, and give themselves a fallback in case they ever wanted to recast. I guess with the multiverse, you can always just bring in a new T'Challa.
Yeah,
so
we saw a whole Illuminati from a different universe, right? So there's definitely going to be other Black Panthers out there.
Yeah, we saw other Peter Parkers.
We've seen lots of crazy multiverse shenanigans. So they also have the Marvels that's coming out. Blade. Remember last time they announced Blade, and maybe there'll be more on Mahershala Ali as Blade. And then as far as the TV shows, you have the She-Hulk show coming out, Echo, Secret Invasion, Ironheart, Armor Wars, the Agatha Harkness show. I want to know, will they announce is Secret Wars coming? Is Avengers 5 coming? What's the next big team up, the next big bad, the next big saga? I'm hoping there's like some kind of Secret Wars thing that's bubbling.
I thought I saw somewhere that Fahey was like, it'll become a lot clearer where we're going
in the next few months, right?
Yeah.
So this has got to be at San Diego.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? They got to come with a big announcement. This is July 21st to July 24th.
Well, a lot of the speculation that I've seen is what's the one battle? What is that battle? Not Battle World. Secret Wars.
Secret Wars, yeah. Which was Battle World was part of it, and the Beyonder, and they rebooted it, and that's I would love to see a Secret Wars. Also, is there plans for Spider-Man in the future? What's happening on the MCU side?
I don't know. Well, they got Spider-Man freshman year. Remember they made that announcement?
Oh, yes. There's that animated series in that same universe where he's going through high school. That's great. But what about live action? I'm excited that they're back because it's also like things are back, like a San Diego Comic-Con back in person with Marvel Studios there. Like the before times.
Remember when you made the prediction? I'm never going to let you let this one go.
Oh boy, what dumb shit did I say? Yes.
You said when COVID was happening, you were freaking out about the state of the industry, and you're going, is every movie and every TV show going to be about COVID?
Yeah, I was just a little bit off on that. A little bit. They weren't all. There was definitely a handful. So it was more like there's a handful of things.
You're like, everything's going to be about COVID. It's all going to be about COVID.
But looking back, they managed to work around it. You know, didn't really.
I think it's too political to put into things.
Yeah. You're probably right.
Well, The Boys is currently doing it.
Well, the boys don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
They will do this fucking call everybody out.
That's not a spoiler for people.
Well, no spoiler. They know. This show does not give a fuck. It's amazing. So, listener, you heading out there? Let us know if you're going to go to San Diego Comic-Con. Maybe somebody's going July 21 to 24.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a Jock and Nerd Insider if one of you guys are going.
Somebody go send us a report, record some report. We will play it. Join the conversation, though, right now.
Stand outside and record like an IGN report. But just like you on an iPhone.
Or you just yell Jock and Nerd.
Jock and Nerd.
Like for hours on end, standing outside.
Or we could just have, this will make everyone happy. We'll just have Matt Miller go, like, not go, but still like record a speak pipe saying he went and then just give his thoughts on things that didn't happen at San Diego Comic-Con. That'd be fun.
Now
that's going to happen.
Yeah, now he's sending that in, Anthony. You just manifested it.
Yeah, now it's definitely happening.
Manifested. I hate when people say I manifested this.
Yeah, you woman-fested it. I don't know. I'm trying to be.
No, I'm just saying that I know
it's dumb. But now that's happening because he just heard that. You put it out. Look, you put it out into the universe. He heard
it's
it.
Inception.
And now
Yes.
it's going to happen even before we said it was going to happen. Anyways, join the Facebook group. You can join this conversation. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. It's an exclusive closed group just for you, listener. Let us know what you think about Marvel returning to the San Diego Comic-Con. Moving on, a little bit more Marvel news. We're about a week and a half away from Thor Love and Thunder.
Geek boner.
I'm very excited. It premiered earlier this week, actually over the weekend. I think it was Friday. They had the premiere. So first social media reactions are out. The review embargo doesn't lift until the 5th, I believe. Comes out July 8th. But did you guys see any of these reactions? Largely, they're always the same, right?
Yeah, what's
Greatest movie in the world.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much dead on.
I actually didn't know that reactions came out, so I'm reading it as we speak.
Let me share one. Eric Davis, who I follow on Twitter, and he works for Rotten Tomatoes and Fandango, says, another classic Thor adventure, Thor Love and Thunder is everything I wanted it to be. Big, colorful, weird, Guns N' Roses fueled battles to go with a hopelessly romantic story about discovering love in unexpected places. Christian Bale, Russell Crowe are especially great. And Korg. I love Korg. So, yeah, people saying mostly that it doesn't quite capture like the feeling of Ragnarok, but it's in the same vein and it's still enjoyable. But yeah, I found this interesting. People were like, it was not quite as funny. Maybe, I don't know.
It seems like a little more emotional.
Not as funny?
Yeah, more emotional, maybe more serious.
That's what I'm seeing. Not as funny as Ragnarok, but maybe a little bit more emotional.
So there's
I might be down for that.
Yeah, that could be good.
I wasn't in retrospect, I grew to appreciate Ragnarok more, but I remember walking out of that theater not being the biggest Ragnarok fan, so I was probably in the minority when I first came out of that.
I wouldn't be mad if he downplayed a little bit of like the slapsticky stuff to have things hit harder. So if he's restraining himself, but it's still got good comedy, that's a good thing. It's a progress, you know. The movie is 1 hour and 59 minutes long. And short.
Not every new movie needs to be 2.5.
No, that's
good.
That's a good length.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, I have no problem with that length. That's a perfect.
That's gonna be good for their money making because they're gonna be able to play it more too.
Yep. And there are 2 post-credit scenes, of course, mid-credits and post-credit that are unmissable according to some. Did you see this new trailer they put out? They put this out a while ago.
No.
It's
with the goats?
Yes. With the screaming goats, which made me laugh. I was like, oh my God, look at these fucking screaming goats. And Anthony,
I love screaming goats.
What else is in this trailer that is notable? Do you remember?
No, I don't. What else was in it?
He does the fucking Van Damme splits.
Oh shit.
Wow.
I missed that.
With his butt?
No,
showing?
with his,
at the end, right?
Yes, with his legs. He's got his legs perfect in a split, holding 2 things apart. And I'm like, he's doing the fucking Van Damme split. This is amazing.
They only really needed to do was have him in his underwear doing it.
Oh, no, he's not in his underwear in that scene, but I wonder if they'll unblur that scene in the movie.
And they should have done it from like behind, because that's what Van Damme would do. He would get his ass. He would get his ass in something really tight.
Yeah, yes, just underwear. Yes, that's the actual Van.
Well, yeah, double impact. He's wearing like a leotard.
He's wearing a banana hammock doing these splits.
I mean, Van Damme has one of the all-time bodies, Van Damme. Chris Hemsworth's up there too, though.
Yeah, his arms are fucking huge in this, dude.
One day, I don't know, we should one day just rank. We should pick like all-time men's bodies.
I like that idea.
But not like you'd have to pick one movie. Like you have to be a specific man movie
from
too.
A guy from a certain movie. Okay,
you'd be like, like Van Damme, Bloodsport.
Right.
That's the best. Like
I vote for the Anthony Twi'lek.
Anthony Twi'lek's in the running.
That's a good body. You're not seeing me do any splits though. That's for sure.
You got to do the splits.
And like Commando Schwarzenegger or something.
Oh yeah, Commando and Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
That's an interesting fucking poll right there. Because Van Damme in that movie, he's
Seagal and Above the Law.
He's like a chiseled, perfect, like somebody drew him. Like
so was Hemsworth in these trailers.
Yeah.
But yeah, Van Damme had a
Brad Pitt
Van
Fight
Damme,
Club was ripped.
Who?
Oh yeah, Brad Pitt in Fight Club. Brad Pitt Fight Club was.
I feel like Brad Pitt was a little like he was ripped, but he was a little too skinny. Like Van Damme was like perfect. Like his muscles were perfect.
For his size.
But he's also like 5'8".
Yeah, he's a short guy, so it's all in proportion. Well,
wow, this took a turn.
Look, let's turn it around. Speaking of muscles,
I'm completely comfortable talking about.
No, speaking of muscles, there's still one of us who doesn't believe Natalie Portman's arms are real in any of this.
You haven't been converted yet?
isn't there, Ruggs?
To the fake arms yet, Ruggs? Or not Ruggs? Imran?
Oh, no, I think they're real.
Okay.
But I feel like Rug Boy is still skeptical.
Look, the point is, I don't think that she didn't work out or she didn't like do as much as she possibly could. But I think just like Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man, when they have that mirror scene where he wakes up in the morning, they enhanced it just to like bring it over the edge.
Yeah.
I just have that theory because I look at photos from when she was shooting that and she doesn't seem like to be as big as in the movie. And then I also see like in certain scenes, her arms look different. There's not consistently the same. So when you see like these shots of, you could see their shoulders very defined and all of a sudden in other shots, it's not. So it's like weird. I don't know. It's weirdly inconsistent. So I don't know. I don't know if it's like, that's like screams to me of like CG, like, or something like that.
What we should do is we should also rank Natalie Portman's bodies.
Oh, yes, we should. All Natalie Portman's bodies. Which movie?
I got her from Phantom Menace.
Okay.
No.
I'll do Natalie Portman from
No,
Thor.
Closer is her best.
I've never seen that.
Closer? Yeah. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I think you see her butt in that.
Really?
Yeah.
You would know which movie.
I know what. Yeah, I know all. I know it all.
You know that like it's that you remember Knocked Up when they were
Mr. Skin, when they were trying to create
categorizing what part in each movie you could see a naked woman. Like Ruggs already has that catalog in his head.
He's got a whole
that's
spreadsheet.
What we were, like before the internet. Like that's how we told each other. Like, oh, remember, like this is the one you got to look at. You got to fast forward to this spot.
Every movie Ruggs has ever recommended to me has had a naked woman in it.
They made this joke in Stranger Things, but every boy growing up in the 80s knew the exact time code of in Fast Times at Ridgemont High when Phoebe Cates comes out of the pool. Yeah. Right?
I mean, candidly, I grew up when VHS was still. I remember.
So you had to know.
You had to know when, like, how long that, like, you press fast forward for about a good 15 seconds, and then you stop, and you're like, oh, okay, there it is. I know this is around that scene. I didn't know the timestamp, but I knew how long to hold the fast forward.
And we didn't have the internet, and we had a whole database in our head. You know, I'll take Natalie Portman from Annihilation. She's got pretty good body in Annihilation. She's all
well. I think she always looks good. She does. I think when she was playing Jackie Onassis, she got emaciated.
Yeah. Ooh. And a little bit in Black Swan, she was really skinny, right?
Yeah, that movie scared me.
Yeah, which was the point. But look, for the record, Ruggs, Anthony posted this article, and it's with her trainer. The article from IndieWire says Portman spent 10 months working out for the film, including several months of conditioning before she began actively adding muscle.
I believe that. Sure, I believe that.
She says once the shoot started, she was training at 4:30. So they said the initial goal was to develop arm and abdominal definition, but they had to get her body conditioning, and then they would work on the parts that were showing, right?
Dude, she's in great shape.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
That's all she's in great shape.
Okay. So those are her real, there's no,
he's saying it might be enhanced.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I'm saying that there might be some enhancement going on because I feel like it's inconsistent, and I'm not saying that she's in terrible shape.
No,
I'm not
she's
saying
in good shape,
flabby or anything. I'm just saying that, I feel like just like with Peter Parker and Tobey Maguire, they did a little doohickey there.
Well, that was an effect shot because that's the only time they were going to show him like shirtless, right? And the whole point was he was skinny before, which was probably him, and maybe they enhanced that too.
I could be wrong though. I'm not saying I'm 100% right. I just have my suspicions. I have like
it looks real to me.
My spider sense is tingling.
Spider sense is tingling. Okay.
There was an article. I did find an article where they said they might have tweaked her height a little bit with CGI.
Oh, interesting. Oh, so
because she's so small.
Yeah, so she can match up to Hemsworth or whatever.
I mean, they didn't make them the same height, but I did see that.
You just put lifts in your shoes.
Yeah, I mean, what's his name? Robert Downey Jr. I think walks around with permanent lifts in his shoes.
I think Al Pacino also likes to do that.
Google Robert Downey Jr. lifts, and you'll see like the shoes he's wearing and stuff is ridiculous when he's walking around in public.
How tall is he? He's just
I think he's only like 5'9" or 5'8", but he tries to like bump himself up to almost 6.
Wow.
Just Google Robert Downey Jr.
What are
lifts.
these big fucking there's kind of chunky shoes.
He's always wearing chunky shoes.
Yeah, these are some weird. Oh, somebody did a drawing over like where his feet should be according to where his waist is and where the shoe is. No, but these are some this almost orthopedic shoes. Like this is okay.
Yeah, they sell those now.
This is to make you taller, huh?
I've seen ads on Instagram where like guys want to be taller and they'll sell them. They sell you shoes that are like a 2-inch lift.
Oh, so you get only 2 inches. Okay, it's a little bit.
I don't know, you might get
really,
3.
that's not really anything. I've known that for years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Been a thing.
It's a total thing because think about this. If you're dating a woman and she puts on like a 5-inch heel,
Right.
Yeah.
all of a sudden,
Yeah.
if you're not already like really tall, you got to like combat that. So, yeah.
It just looks weirder when you look down and you're like, oh, that guy's wearing lifts. That's odd.
I never noticed that, but I just Googled that.
Would it be weird if he was just wearing high heels?
Not just wear normal shoes.
I think which one is the weirder one?
I don't know why, but the high heels are like just so acceptable.
But why do you think it's weirder? What do you think would look weirder? Like a dude walking in with a girl that's 5 inches taller than him because she's wearing heels, or a guy wearing high heels himself so he can look as tall as his girlfriend?
I think when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, he should try to match her height. But now, if that happened and I'd see that, I'd be like, man, that dude has big ass balls. He just does not give a fuck that his woman is 7 inches taller than him.
See, that never bothered me. I would be fine with that. My wife's taller than me.
Oh.
Not a big deal.
Oh, there you go. But you have no self-confidence whatsoever.
Yeah, so
no.
it's a moot.
Yeah.
The point is moot. I just clicked on a link for these lift shoes. They have some shoes that add from 3 to 5 inches to your height.
Yeah.
There's one that adds 5.12 inches. It's kind of crazy.
Those gotta look weird.
Yeah, I don't know what, and especially with the way pants fit
2
now,
to
you
5
can't just
inches.
cover that
No,
up.
you can't. Wow, these are interesting. They all add like anywhere from 2 to 5 inches you could add to your height with these shoes. Huh, I might have to get some. Okay, moving on.
How tall are you, Imran?
I think I'm like a hair under 5'10", maybe like a 5'9".
What? Really? No way.
No? 5'9", maybe a hair under 5'9".
I'm 6 foot. You're not like 2 inches shorter than me.
I'm like, what? I'm a lot shorter.
I thought like you were like 5'8".
I haven't measured myself in a while.
We have to. That's another thing. I haven't seen you in a while, so maybe
I need an accurate. I need to go to the doctor.
We got to do it old school, where you just line your head up against a wall and we put a pencil.
You put a mark there, yeah.
Pencil mark where at the top of your head is.
Yeah, I come up to Imran's belt line, so I'm only 3 feet tall. So
Yeah, I didn't really want to bring it up to you. Be a sore subject.
Listen, every year I'm getting shorter. I know that. I don't want to find out. We're all shrinking.
Hulk Hogan at one point was 6'7", I think.
And now what is he?
But because he was doing the leg drop as his finisher, which was he was just landing on his tailbone.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that his tailbone like started curving, so he lost like 3 inches.
Holy
and then he got old as well too.
And then he compressed more. Oh,
because he was compressing his spine.
Your spine decompresses over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my mom is tiny now. I can fit her in my pocket. It's weird. She's rug boy size.
Mad Monaghan.
Oh, Warwick Davis joke? What are we doing? Okay, moving on to another
Oh, this is good.
Marvel
Bring up
thing.
Kraven.
You're going to like this.
No, this is Sony.
Sony's Kraven the Hunter movie, right? Variety talked to Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's tall, who has been shooting this movie
He's tall.
on location for the first time, which is interesting. But here's what Aaron Taylor Johnson says about his Kraven the Hunter character, which made me go, what the fuck? He said, quote, he's just a hunter, a human with conviction, an animal lover, and a protector of the natural world. He's a very, very cool character.
Shit.
This is not the fucking Kraven the Hunter.
Isn't a hunter the opposite of that?
Yes.
Any hunter?
This Kraven the
Not
Hunter.
an animal lover, an animal killer?
He has animal heads on his wall as trophies. What is this movie? Why was he hunt Spider-Man then? What is going on?
I love animals to kill them. Yeah.
Spider-Man's a human, so he doesn't love he doesn't.
I love him so much. I'm going to shoot him and hang him on my wall. Anyways, this is more
Marvel
of like
logic.
Sony. It just doesn't. What are you doing? They just don't get the fucking point of this. This is going to be great. They're going to turn every Spider-Man villain into like a hero,
Antihero.
yeah, or an antihero,
Right.
And it's just kind of annoying. So I thought that was interesting that he said that.
Yeah, I mean, Sony. Ugh.
Yeah, I got this for Sony.
Well, then get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit. So it's together.
That's for Sony, and figure it out. It's not going to be good.
Yeah, I think it's bullshit.
It's
lame.
It's not okay. It's not going to be good. Where's that button? And so
Lame.
we don't have to worry about it till 2023. Okay, moving on. The Squid Games guys got a season 2 renewal, which isn't really a surprise, right? They left that open at the end. If you haven't seen it, it's open. No spoilers. But they have greenlit a second season, which I love that.
Geek boner.
Give me more Squid Games. Give me more. I don't know what game. Do you do the same games? Do you do different games? You do different games, right? You show me a Squid Game somewhere else in the world.
Right.
Well, they left it with him deciding he's going to hunt to them.
Oh yeah, he was going to go back to the original Squid Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was
So maybe you have him trying to infiltrate a Squid Game while you introduce another character that's involved in the game.
there was a couple of plot threads left open to continue, and yeah, I would like to see him become one of like the workers there and try to take it down. But the thing that's weird is that we talked about how long it took for the creator to make Squid Games. Like he had this idea for 12 years and it was a movie and now he's got like 1 year to come up with a sequel. I find that can be hard to make something good that way when you've worked your whole life.
Around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. That's the thing, right? When you're an unknown guy and you develop something that's good with, that you've put in a ton of work into, but then the studios are like, you're awesome.
Give me
But we
5
need the
more of
sequel to
these.
this. Yeah. And you need to turn it around. Now you're on our timeline.
Now
And
you're
you're not
really
a big
working.
enough name where you can say, fuck off.
Right.
I'm doing it on my own timeline.
You got to ride that momentum.
Right.
It's similar to like how bands, like when they first get a record deal, they have a set of songs they've been playing for years and they get that first record. And then the record company's like, okay, we need 5 more, 1 every year. Keep pumping them out.
No.
And they're like, fuck, we've been playing these 10 songs for like 10 years. We've got to start writing shit. Either it comes out good or it doesn't. You can't do it.
Yeah, it's a stressful position to be in, to be forced to be creative.
The only thing I can say is that this creator clearly left it open at the end of Squid Game Season 1. So maybe he already had something in mind in case it does get renewed.
It's possible.
I feel like whenever you create something on that level, you always have that in the back of your mind. Like, how would we continue the story? Is it over, or is there another possibility? Because if it is successful, you have to be prepared for that.
And I think it's different now compared to like back in the day when you should be prepared with something. It's more likely to get picked up. Like, once we get to Star Wars, we could talk about how George Lucas had retconned all sorts of shit in the second movies and third movies because he didn't think of the first one was going to be successful or he was going to get a green light for any more. So then now you got to start making shit up and contradicting yourself, whatever.
We live in a sequel, like the environment now. It's all sequel. It's all IP. So you have to think about it.
I trust him. The fucking show was genius. I can't wait to see what they bring us. Now, the real story is this. Netflix, the same day they announced Squid Game Season 2, they announced that they're turning Squid Game into a real-life game show on Netflix. And I was like, what? If nobody is being murdered in these games, what is the point of watching? They're going to have 456 players, and they're going to be playing for a $4.56 million prize that only one person is going to ultimately win. Does this pique anybody's interest? Again, if you're not killing the motherfucker, you don't call it Squid Game.
They would have to do. I feel like this idea is, if you're obviously you're not killing people, right? So this idea has already been played out. It's like the challenge.
It's called the Squid Game, the challenge, like the MTV show. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. MTV's the challenge is similar in that they do make them do gross and high risk things for money. So
was that a
you have
good
to
show? I never watched that.
I like the challenge, because but you would have to. You'd have to be invested in watching them on reality TV first, and then they'd come over to the challenge.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Is it like a Fear Factor kind of thing then also?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay.
Fear Factor is similar. That's
and then
already
they bang
been a
each
thing.
other.
Oh, of
They
course.
do bang each other. That's the appeal of the challenge is they do the stunts, but they actually start banging each other.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the challenge.
That was the level up on Fear Factor.
Yeah.
You just had Joe Rogan being nuts on Fear
Yeah.
Factor.
We got hot people eating weird things and then they bang each other.
Yeah. And then they eat it out each other.
But I don't know how. What did you just say?
Yeah, you just glossed over that. Keep going.
Yeah, we don't need to go back to that.
Yeah.
We can just.
I
going.
don't know how. Do you do like the same games we seen in the show? How do you do
You
like
have to. Otherwise,
Yeah.
Yeah, but was it a paint gun instead of a real gun? Like
I think
guess that's
Mr.
fun.
Beast tried to do that.
He did on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Tried to do a real.
what were the games? There was the
There was
cracker
Red light,
game.
green light.
red light, green
Yeah,
light,
red light,
tug
green
of war.
Yeah.
was,
War you could easily do, and then
The
but then
marble game.
the marble game was crazy,
which one was the marble game?
where they
Oh
had,
yeah, that
they had
marble game.
bags of marbles.
That doesn't seem as riveting though.
No, that was
Like-
only good in that episode because of the way the story was
Right.
going. They had that thing where you cut out the little honeycomb.
The honeycomb game, riveting on the show. I don't know,
Yeah.
riveting with real people. The
What were the other ones?
glass game would be cool.
Oh fuck, the glass game you could do and just have a
People fall onto
yeah.
like a trampoline below, or
but it
something.
looks like they've disappeared.
Right.
Like there's this show on Netflix called The Floor is Lava, right? It's really ridiculous and silly and I love it. I want to go on it. And they literally build this obstacle course with like liquid that's bubbling. It's obviously it's not lava, but the funny thing is when the people fall in the liquid, they just like disappear and you don't see them get out. So it's like they're just dead. So it completes the illusion of the fake lava successfully. So maybe make it like that, but just more scary. I don't know.
I'd watch an episode.
Yeah,
See what it's
I
like.
just think it's funny how they missed the whole point of the Squid Game, which is like
I'm surprised it's coming out a year later.
yeah, they should have already had this done. This thing was huge. But like the point of Squid Game was like a commentary on capitalism, right? And how people do crazy things to pay off their debts and now they like just ignoring that point and making it a farce of what it is, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's not like it didn't exist before.
That's
It's
true.
already, this has always been the case. So
They're just going to use the brand to like generate interest and it's probably going to suck. I'll watch one episode.
yeah.
Listener, check out our Public shop where you can get t-shirts and mugs and hoodies and lots of Jock and Nerd swag.
Jock and Nerd.
To be the new hipster. Jock and Nerd. Hipsters are done. We discussed that. You can now be the next thing. Get ahead of the trend. Buy a graphic tee. jockandnerd.com/shop. Okay, last thing in the news. I mentioned Marvel is returning to San Diego Comic-Con. Warner Brothers will also be at Hall H, Warner Brothers Discovery this year with David Zaslav having to deal with a lot of shit as the new head of Warner Brothers. He's fired a lot of people, cut a lot of shows. They will have panels for House of Dragon, The Sandman, Harley Quinn. But he said there are going to be some big changes for the studio's approach to Comic-Con this year. There won't be any presence on the convention floor, which is where normally shows like The Flash, Superman, Lois, and Supernatural would be there. Now, I don't know if you guys, I've been following this news. CW apparently is up for sale. Warner Brothers trying to sell the whole network off. So I don't know how much longer.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't want CW anymore. So I don't know how much longer those shows have. And they said anything in 2023, we're not going to talk about. So this may be a way around talking about the Flash movie because you got to imagine.
Yeah.
That's what everybody's
talk
going to
about
want to
it.
know about.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's just come out right and say we're not talking about 2023.
How would you handle this, Anthony? You know they're going to get questions, but that's probably a good move.
You set the tone right away, but with the questions, we're only talking about stuff this year.
Which is Black Adam and Shazam Fury of the Gods, probably.
Right. No questions about next year. That's it.
But I'm curious as to what Dave Zaslav has in store moving forward. We talked about how they're trying to make three separate things with Warner Brothers and DC as one and animation in one. And they have HBO Max shows. So what new direction will he be bringing? Update on the Ezra Miller situation. Something else happened. Are you
no.
Are you surprised?
No.
Okay, this time, Rolling Stone reports that the Flash star Ezra Miller is currently, quote unquote, hosting a 25-year-old mother and her three young children at their Vermont farm. The father of those kids and at least two other people have expressed concerns about the situation. They are alleging that the farm is unsafe for children. Allegedly, there's guns strewn around the place. One person claimed a baby put a loose bullet in her mouth. He also has, yeah. One person claimed that. He also, apparently he's got like a marijuana cannabis farm. He's growing lots of plants, but he's not licensed to be a cannabis farm. So the father is trying to get these kids and the mother back. The mother, however, says Ezra Miller helped her escape from a, quote, violent and abusive ex. She tells comicbookmovie.com, until you talk to these people, that Miller's ranch has been a healing haven. She says,
Oh, so he's a hero.
he's taking care of her. She says they may have firearms for self-defense purposes, and they are stored in a part of the house that the children never go in. My kids are able to relax more into
Yeah,
their...
they keep him in the salad, I guess.
Yes, it's the hiding
kids can
guns
eat-
in the peanut butter.
Yeah, sure.
Again, this sounds like he wants to start a cult. Some kind of cult. Another person on the internet made this great comparison that Ezra Miller is turning into like a real life A-Train from The Boys. And that's kind of accurate if you think about it.
Train of the boy.
Yes, what A-Train is going through in season 3 also.
Oh,
And just A-Train. Yeah, so there's more. And also, I guess there was going to be an HBO Max spin-off Flash show, which they rumored, of course, to be canceled. They said they're probably not going to work with Ezra Miller. It's not stopping with this Ezra Miller.
We have a whole year of fun ahead of us until they
Ezra is a different cat. That's for sure.
And you know what's interesting is all of these stories and allegations, they have two sides. Like the people involved are like, no, Ezra Miller helped me out. And the on the other side, the reporting is that he's doing these crazy things. So like, it's very weird, but he did throw things at people and he did threaten to fucking kill some people.
Well,
They
normal.
did. Yeah, that's normal. That's just,
Yeah,
that's
that's
actors,
normal.
actors being actors.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I have no more comments on it. I will just continue to see how this plays out.
And how's Warner Brothers going to show up at San Diego Comic-Con and not still remain quiet? They're going to catch a lot of fucking flack. This is going to be
You
interesting.
gotta hire Johnny Depp's lawyer.
Holy shit, this is going to be interesting.
I object to this question.
You know, Depp lost that suit initially in the UK. You guys know that, right?
Right. Yeah.
He
lost. He was suing the paper for defamation.
Oh, that time he was suing the paper.
This time he sued her.
Yeah, and that
He sued
time
her
the
here.
court basically called him like a husband, a wife abuser,
Right.
threw it out, and then and then he came to the States and won that one, suing straight her. Huh, interesting. Hollywood types, it's crazy. Okay, let's take a break here. Play some promos. We'll come back and geek out about Star Wars and Obi-Wan's whole first season right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Transmission commencing.
This is Wookiee Radio. Translated for the Wookiee impaired. I like that Wookiee. Your hosts, Ken, Derek, and Mike, bring you the latest news and commentary from the far reaches of the galaxy.
Hold it. Hold it. I said hold it.
Subscribe today on iTunes and Stitcher.
I just assumed he's a Wookiee.
Start listening today, and remember,
The Force will be with you, always.
Have you ever been reading through a stack of comics and thought, maybe I should see what this Arkham Asylum game is all about? Or been playing Marvel vs. Capcom and felt like you were at a real disadvantage since you didn't know who half the characters were? Well, Play Comics is the show for you. I'm Chris, and each episode we take a look at video games based on comic properties and how well they stick to that source material. So whether you know the comics and want to know how all these games work, or you know the games and want to find out where all this craziness came from, go check out Play Comics at playcomics.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Jock and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the show and you want to support the show, we have an awesome fan club you can join. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Jock and Nerd.
You can support the show on a monthly or annual basis, and you get stuff like you get access to an exclusive podcast feed with bonus content. The shows come out early. There's post shows, there's instant reactions, there's mini movie reviews, hours of extra stuff to listen to immediately when you join. You get Discord benefits. We do a monthly Discord hangout just for our Patreon.
Except not this month.
We didn't do it this month. We're gonna resume in July of 2022, July 21st, Thursday, July 21st, 8 p.m. Central Time. Be there. This one we're gonna do. There's a lot to catch up. I love these. I love catching up with our listeners. And we have a You Pick It tier where you can force us to watch and review any movie you want. That's a lot of fun. We have a lot of picks in the list that we're going to get to. In fact, we did one last week. We did Hudson Hawk, fantastic Bruce Willis buddy
How
action
did that go over?
film. Well, it went over so well that Jesse Rodriguez, another patron, changed his latest pick. Jesse Rodriguez wrote in and said, after hearing this last show, I'm going to need to change my pick to Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, shit.
What was he originally doing?
I've already changed it. I forgot what it was.
Gotcha.
But we hadn't got to that third one. But you know what? I feel like he wants us to enjoy a movie maybe, and that's why he puts this in.
I appreciate that.
And coincidentally, the movie has made $1 billion now.
Oh, shit.
Over 500 million domestic. This is Tom Cruise's first $1 billion movie. Only the second movie to crack $1 billion since the start of the pandemic. The first one being Spider-Man No Way Home. And we may have this review. Should we tell them as early as next week, Anthony? We put it now?
Yeah, perhaps.
Okay.
Barring anything unforeseen, that's when we're going to do it.
Barring anything crazy, Jesse Rodriguez, we're going to do your pick because we missed the boat on this movie. We've all kind of wanted to see it, and now we have a reason. We shouldn't have had to have a reason, but now we have a reason. So I can't wait. Join the fan club. Get your movie pick. Enjoy all the benefits. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Okay, this week's review, Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus has completed its run. All 6 episodes are out. The finale aired last week. So we will be discussing the finale and the whole season. Here are your spoilers.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Prepare to be spoiled!
Anthony, how do you want to do this? You want to catch us up on just how the thing wraps up or the back half of it? We did talk about the first 2 episodes and then briefly commented on episodes 3, 4, and 5 along the weeks.
No, I think we should just get into it.
Okay.
I don't know if we need a recap.
Maybe just an overall idea of what the show is about.
Okay, sure. The show is about Obi-Wan is kind of lost as a Jedi. He's looking for his way. He doesn't really have a purpose anymore because of Order 66 and all these Jedis have been taken out, and it seems like the Empire is ruling over everything. And Obi-Wan's only real thing that he's doing is he's kind of watching Luke from afar. And he gets called into a mission because Leia gets kidnapped, and he's kind of forced into resuming his Jedi duties to get to her. And what that really is a ploy for him to be reunited with Darth Vader, because Vader has been traveling the galaxy looking for Obi-Wan. So you kind of have that in play where Obi-Wan is not wanting to really be a Jedi anymore, not really wanting to do anything, kind of just wants to live a quiet life, but he's forced into something because of his relationship with Luke and Leia that turns out to be a scheme to get him in front of Darth Vader, who's the guy that he failed in the prequel series, Anakin. And he lives a lot of regret because of that.
Yeah, the show set between, episodes 3 and A New Hope does end up adding a lot of depth to things and creating, certain plot holes and retcons, but adding more depth to these characters that we've known. What did you think of how it all ended up in episode 6, Anthony?
The show is like the definition of a mixed bag. I didn't particularly hate episode 6. I kind of liked some of it. The best stuff on the show is Vader and Obi-Wan stuff, in my opinion. The worst stuff is the subplot with Reva and how badly staged a lot of the action scenes are. To me, the show is very reliant on like a lot of nostalgia stuff. Like, hey, it's cool. You get to see Kid Leia. Hey, it's cool. We get to see Kid Luke. You get to see Vader again. You get to see this. You get to see that. And any of the new stuff they really added didn't really work, in my opinion, i.e. Reva. To me, it seems like the show was really, if I had to pinpoint where I think the show misstepped, I think it was really because it was intended to be a movie. The movie gets sidelined because Solo bombs. So they're like, we can't do these movies anymore. Then Mandalorian does well, and they're like, oh, we need to do these TV shows. The TV show's the thing. So they dust off Obi-Wan, and they make it into a TV show, and they don't have 6 episodes worth of stuff, which is why you get 2 episodes where the main plot is him helping Leia
rescuing
escape
her
from
twice.
rescuing her twice in a 6-episode show. So I can't say it's like awful, like Boba Fett, I think was. But can't really say it's good either, because it's just there's so many mixed things about the show where I'm just like, oh, this is not great, but this is kind of fun. Like last episode for sure, I liked seeing Vader and Obi-Wan fight. I liked the stuff with Vader and his like half face, and that's when he's talking in the James Earl Jones, and he's talking in Anakin.
Yeah, that was fucking
and it's
great.
mixing and it's kind of creepy. But then you have the whole Reva thing where it's just like, what the hell's going on here? So. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the Star Wars guy, but
no, I love your takes though.
Wasn't my favorite.
I do love your non-Star Wars fan takes because it always brings about something interesting. And the comment of the movie thing, now once we've seen the whole show, that really rings true. Like you can see it. Like that synopsis you gave about the whole show is a perfect plot for a movie, right? And now that we've seen everything, you can kind of see what the movie was and how they padded and kind of inserted the Reva character kind of clunkily to pad things out. And
well, no, I think Reva was always.
Oh, you think
there.
Reva was there?
Yeah, but I think that
I guess she was instrumental in.
I feel like, and I hate to say this, is that Disney, is in a lot of ways ruining Star Wars because they have these things that they do, and like for example, like George Lucas, of course, wanted to redeem Darth Vader. All right. But the Emperor is not redeemable. Like there's evil characters in Star Wars that are just evil and not misunderstood. They're just evil. They're just that they need to become Sith. They need to embrace evil and violence and killing and all that anger and stuff like that. So there are characters that are purely evil. And if they just made Reva purely evil and her goal was to kill Darth Vader.
Yep.
But not so because out of revenge because that makes her entire existence make no sense. She's like killing other Jedi all the time to get to Darth Vader. Her goal should be to be the next emperor. Like that she wants that kind of power. That she feels like she can do things better than Darth Vader. She wants to rule the galaxy. Like that would have been a much better story for her, a better story arc. And then maybe being around Leia kind of starts to soften her a little bit. And she starts to actually, she's captured this person and tortured her, but like she really sees a resilience and she kind of remembers what it's like to be a kid at her age and when she had her tragedy. Like they had so much there they could have worked with, but they went for this Disney shit where like every character's got to be redeemable. Every character's got misunderstood. If it's just really weird and it's very predictable. And I predicted it right from the first episode. I think I said like Reva's going to be, Reva's going to be this character that is actually using her Ben Kenobi to get to Darth Vader.
Yeah, and the way her story arc ends is just it seemed a little forced and rushed, and all of a sudden she can't kill the kid. But here's the other problem with the show, right? We know if you're any Star Wars fan, at least six of the characters on this show don't fucking die. So where are your stakes? Where's the tension? She doesn't kill Darth Vader. She doesn't kill Luke. We know they all survive. Now you got to work within this. And I think sometimes it worked and sometimes you're like, well, of course we know it's going to happen. Bruggs, let me ask you this. Episode 6 had some fucking dope shit. The lightsaber battles were epic. The fucking Force raising the rocks, the rock battle there with the slicing. I thought there was some cool shit.
I thought they were serviceable.
Okay, did the good outweigh the bad in this show for you, though?
I feel like, look, my overall opinion of it is I was entertained, and I feel like that at least Obi-Wan got his shit together in the end, and they put up a good fight, and it actually, but so in the broad strokes, I think it's an enjoyable experience. More than it is a bad experience. But I really, and nothing is perfect. Everything has got plot holes in it. But I mean, the amount of them in this show is just a lot, like of the glaring ones. Like, how many times is Reva going to get stabbed and survive?
Yeah, how is she alive?
Nobody dies from a wound anymore.
How did she get to Tatooine so quickly?
Nobody knows.
What was she going to do with Luke?
She appears in places like out of nowhere.
What was the plan? You kill Luke and then you tell Anakin that you killed the son he didn't even know he fucking had. Like, I understand what.
Yeah, what was that plan?
What her plan was.
yeah, there's just some really ham-fisted writing. Like, yeah, like Leia has no character arc. Like, she doesn't seem changed by the experience at all.
Well, the more I thought about it, though, the more I kind of, I really, look, I liked the Leia character. I even liked the actor.
She was good.
And I liked her relationship with Obi-Wan. And if you think about how Leia later, she goes from politics to being like a rebel and being on the ground and being a general, you could see how this whole experience would inform her. You know, she gets the holster from Tala, and the fact that she had this whole thing with Obi-Wan this
But she
whole
was
time.
rebellious from the get-go. She was like never listening to her parents.
That's true.
So it's like she was always this like kid that was like doing shit she wasn't like craving adventure. So it's like she doesn't really change. I feel like she should change a little bit. I think the only person who had an arc was Reva.
But she's the least interesting character.
She was interesting in the beginning, and I could have used...
But the arc makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's just a forced arc.
I liked how they made her the Grand Inquisitor, and they were like, just kidding. You're not the Grand Inquisitor. And the fucking Grand Inquisitor was alive.
Yeah.
The whole time.
See, I would have done it differently. I agree. I was trying to think about how I would have done the show. And I think, first off, I think Obi-Wan does kind of have a little bit of an arc, right? Like he's back to being the Jedi. Yeah. By the end, he's wearing black throughout the episode, and then in the end, he finally puts on the white cloak. Like he's back to embracing his Jedi-ness or whatever the hell. But I would have focused more on Obi-Wan. I felt like the show kind of got derailed a lot. Like, what derails the show is I think the two most interesting characters are clearly Obi-Wan and Vader and that relationship. Yet the show has Reva in it more than it has Vader. So what I would have done is I would have taken Reva out. I would have taken Leia out, because the reason I would have taken Leia out is it's too similar to Mandalorian in that they use a child, in this case Leia, in Mandalorian Grogu, to bring in this like cowboy into battle. And the whole show revolves around the cowboy protecting the kid. So it's too similar. I would have just left Leia out, left Reva out, and had Obi-Wan be this cowboy that like is lost off the saddle, is like disenchanted with everything, feels like he failed Anakin and has just failed everything, and trouble just finds him. Like the Empire is just encroaching on his space, and he gets called into action inadvertently.
He can't help it.
He's like,
he
can't help it, right? Like he's just a good man, so he's going to have to like help this this town getting like fucked up by the Empire.
That's still like the Mandalorian, though, right there. Kind of.
Yeah, but he's not protecting a kid.
Yeah.
He's doing it because Obi-Wan's still a good man, and as he like kind of gets wrapped up in this stuff, they like the Empire finds out like there's this like gunslinger like helping out. What's going on? And Vader knows right away it's fucking Obi-Wan.
It's Obi-Wan, yeah.
And that's like you build up that tension. So then that middle episode, you do that fight scene, but Obi-Wan doesn't know that Vader's alive.
Right.
Similar to what they did here, and Vader knows. And Vader comes like on the brink of killing him. They get like Obi-Wan gets away, and then Obi-Wan's like throughout the second half of the episode, it's like they do the Dark Knight Rises thing with Batman, where he needs to be rebuilt and born.
Oh,
and it's like he needs to like confront Vader and not only like physically gain back the Jedi strength, but also like mentally come back and like this is the man that like I failed and I need to come back and I need to like get rid of this guy. And I think like focusing on them two and like leaving out Leia, leaving out Reva, and really focusing on like that tension that they've had and that shared history, I think would have served the show much better.
That's the show I want to see. Jesus,
that's the show everyone wants to see.
Yeah, or like maybe even Obi-Wan like strays so far from being a Jedi that he starts his own family, and then maybe the Empire kills and he's got it. He's
sensitive.
Like So
they do. Yeah, that's also like similar to what they did with Tony Stark in Endgame, right? Where he's so disenchanted by being a superhero that he starts his own family, but then inevitably gets pulled back in, and because he's a good man, he's gonna come back in.
I could have used more of Obi-Wan getting his groove back. You know, I feel like that was rushed. You didn't really see.
They did like teased it a little, but then they would always cut away to other things.
Yeah, ultimately it wasn't a show about Obi-Wan, but fuck, every Vader scene I loved. I want a Vader show.
I did like Vader.
And that fucking fight and Ewan McGregor, fucking fantastic throughout all this. That fucking fight where he slices the helmet off and then he sees him and he just goes, I'm sorry, Anakin.
He was acting his ass off
Holy
right
shit,
there.
that was emotional as fuck. And like he is saying goodbye. Like that's when Anakin does die right there. And I love his line. Anakin's line is like, you don't have to feel bad. I'm not your failure. You didn't kill Anakin. I did. And his voice is mixing. I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, shit.
This is so good. That was so good.
Yeah.
The one criticism I have, Deborah Chow, overall, solid directing. But in a lot of these action scenes, there's a lot of handheld shaky cam, like too shaky.
I feel
when
like
it wasn't
that
necessary.
It's very unevenly directed. There's shots that are great. And
Yes.
There's shots that are just, I'm thinking, what are you doing?
There's some beautiful
Wait, did
shots.
she direct every episode?
I think she did, yes.
It's
Yeah, I was
uneven.
going to say, yeah, I would agree with Ruggs. I don't think I can give her credit for an amazingly directed series.
When it's good, it's fucking gorgeous, right? There's
yeah,
some great
but when
shit.
it's bad, you get a scene where a 5-year-old's outrunning. They're shooting it in a way where it's like impossible to believe this 10-year-old is outrunning grown men.
Yeah, it's just it's just not when you can see other, like even in the animated series when they direct it, it's better. Like you watch the Ahsoka Tano versus Darth Maul
that's a
fight.
Great fight. That's fucking
And
great
it
fight.
is fucking thrilling, and it's shot beautifully. So there's better ways to shoot this stuff.
I mean, I wrote down, I mentioned it last week, but since we're doing the review, I'll say it again. I think I've got like 4 or 5 scenes that are just horribly directed.
Yeah.
You've got the 2 chase scenes. That's 2.
Yeah.
You've got the scene where they're plowing into this barricaded door, and then later on, Reva just cuts it open with the fucking lightsaber.
Yeah.
You've got the scene where they literally have Leia in the trench coat
walking
next to Obi-Wan while they're sneaking out, and no one's like, what the hell
You
is
think
that?
there's a kid under there? That's fine.
Right? And then you have the scene where Vader there's 2 scenes. There's Vader stopping because fire gets in front of him. I guess they were like alluding to like the lava.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. But then there's the scene where, again, last week, he pulls down the ship and doesn't see that there's another ship behind there.
This is like this Vader who's impatient, who's not willing to wait.
No, but what I'm talking about, that's terrible directing.
All right. I liked when he pulled the
Stage
ship
it in a
down.
way that
Yeah.
I can believe.
Okay.
Stage it in a way I can believe that not everyone on screen is a complete moron.
You're like, what are you doing? The ship was right there the whole time.
That you don't serve anyone well by directing scenes where everyone looks stupid.
You got the way it's staged, it doesn't help the situation, and the fact that it's written that way also is
right.
It's not the greatest. So you could have a director like pull off some bad writing if they're directed well, it'll slide by.
Yeah.
But if you're not nailing it, if you're not nailing a chase scene with a little girl and making it look like you're watching Home Alone all of a sudden, it's like, okay, when's the paint can gonna hit this guy in the head?
But I almost believe too, like it might have been written that way, but that's on the director. I think like you got to be able to stage a scene where it's believable that something like this is happening.
Yeah, those are pretty glaringly.
Like writing to me is like, that plot point makes no sense. That dialogue is really bad.
Yeah.
But staging, like I think staging falls on like the director and
the shots.
The Last Jedi had way better, staging, even though some of that was weird, but that had way more flair, and of course it's a film, and like any of the prequels and sequels had, very serviceable. I mean, the Darth Maul fight was great, very memorable shots,
What'd you think of, we got to see fucking Qui-Gon. Liam Neeson only shows up when a child has been kidnapped. That's his MO.
Someone explain to me what
he's like. I got a set of skills.
He's like, I got a specific set of skills. I can bring your child back. She's been taken.
Why does he come back? I thought he was dead.
He's dead, but he's a force ghost.
He's the only guy that dies from getting a lightsaber through him. Like everybody else lives fine.
So
no
he
problem.
died in the first
you can get a full lightsaber through your stomach.
But Obi-Wan was trying to talk to him the whole time, and finally he shows up because he's ready to talk to him. But I didn't think we'd see Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon again for the first time since 1999 or whenever that movie came out. That's crazy.
That movie, that that part should have played off better. But again, they really didn't focus on Obi-Wan getting his groove
No,
back.
they needed more of that.
So that would have meant more like if the whole series kind of focused on that, and then like you finally Obi-Wan's able to kind of overcome Vader, and then Qui-Gon shows up because he's like, "You're ready for me again."
So maybe
kinda.
it is the Leia thing was padding for a movie, and you could have still like it would have been better as a movie with.
Just think about this: they had that great like Blade Runner backdrop, and the two major fight scenes were in like deserts.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
Barren, like that. To me, when I saw that Blade Runner-esque like fucking Neo Tokyo fucking thing, I'm like, oh. There's gonna be a fucking lightsaber battle against that. That's gonna be fucking sick.
They're just running around the whole time, and that.
No, when that trailer came out, I even said on the show, I said that's a cool looking scene.
Yeah.
That's a cool spot to potentially do stuff.
At least
they didn't.
At least they weren't on Tatooine the whole fucking time, which is what I thought we were gonna get.
They might have been because. These barren ass planets.
That planet though, with the rock spires where they had the last battle, that was a cool planet, and they give you the opportunity to like break the rock, and then he does.
Yeah, but imagine they were in a city and Darth Vader was fucking ripping down buildings and shit.
That'd have been dope. That'd have been dope. We did see Vader walk down the street and just fucking kill people. That was badass.
Yeah, that was cool.
Just fucking.
They probably didn't have the money.
It felt like TV. It felt like TV. There was like the first episode felt very cinematic.
Yeah,
because it was like this slow burn.
Yeah.
It was like him, like and it lent itself to the direction. It wasn't a lot of action being done. It was like more about mood, and they nailed that with the direction there. But when it came to action and when it came to like trying to stage like an event, like a moment, like cinematic fucking action moment, it kind of it barely holds itself together. So
it does feel very TV.
It definitely starts to feel the cinematic quality drop off, and you feel like you're watching TV. So
there was that one scene too where it gave me CW vibes. It was the last I think the last episode or one before that. Remember when they all break in to the compound that they're in?
Yeah, and they're shooting.
And they're shooting at each other, and they're so close, and no one's getting shot.
That's Star Wars, though. That happens in every Star Wars.
Bad.
And then you had the great sacrifice of Tala, who I love Tala. Fucking Indira Varma did a lot of fucking cool shit and helped him out. And then I love the loader droid, and they both sacrificed themselves. So sad.
How much did they pay Kumail Nanjiani to be a
Kumail was back at the end looking after Leia. I was glad to see him again. He's still around. How much? I don't know.
How much did they pay Joel Edgerton to be a glorified cameo?
Wait, Joel Edgerton was Uncle Owen, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Owen and Beru though, they were ready. They were fucking strapped.
Well, Owen was like, he was ready to leave, and then his wife's like, "No, we're staying and fighting."
Beru was badass.
All of the men are pussies in this show.
I know, and the wife was like, "Grab the gun, and like they were shooting at her, and also missed, even though she was right there.
Yeah,
like, I don't know why you missed on the first shot. She didn't know you were fucking pointing the gun at her.
Her whole. You said this before, but it's worth saying. Her whole plot makes no goddamn sense.
It kind of doesn't.
What is her plan?
I don't know what she was doing throughout this whole thing. It is kind of confusing.
It's like she gets stabbed through the stomach. I mean, up to that point, it didn't make sense. Then she gets stabbed through the stomach, and she's like, "Oh, I can't kill Vader. I'm gonna have a temper tantrum and kill Luke."
Yeah, what is that gonna do?
What does that have to do with
what
anything?
Is that gonna do? And I'm still stabbed, and I'm dying, but I'm not gonna die, and she's fine.
And then like Rugg said, then she has like this turn at the end, and it's like, what? I don't understand what her character went through in this
out of
moment.
all the Jedis that you killed and all the people that you killed, now you stop because of what?
Because of the kid? Oh, well, because she was about to kill Luke and she saw herself as a youngling getting stabbed.
But she never saw herself as a youngling all the countless times that she tried to kill. She killed people.
I mean, I love the moment.
There was a literal fucking trophy room of fucking dead Jedi in amber.
Yeah, how many people did she kill? I could have used more of like the whole Inquisitor scene.
And how does that help you get to Darth Vader?
No.
How does that make you feel better about getting to Darth Vader?
Well, she failed.
Yeah.
She failed to kill Vader.
She was being used by him too.
Yeah, and I just don't understand.
I can understand that she's like, all right, I give up now. I can't beat him. He's too powerful. Maybe that's it. But why would you, at that point, why would you go and try and kill Luke? It doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
She does, because she doesn't know that that's Darth's son, right?
She knows now. She knew at the end when she found that fucking communicator device and she heard the message.
But so she kills Luke.
Yeah, what is that?
And then she goes, "Hey, Luke, Darth, I killed your
and he's
son."
Like, what's that?
And he's like, "What are you talking?
What are you talking about?"
How shitty is Bail Organa at fucking keeping shit quiet?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Use code words on these messages, you idiot. What are you doing? Don't say on the side.
You dumbass.
I love that line though, where at the end, I think it was the end of episode 5, where Vader's approaching and Obi-Wan is like, "You're not bringing me to him. I'm bringing him to you." But then she couldn't kill him, so it didn't really matter. I did like. Oh, another quick turn at the very end. So Obi-Wan, Darth Vader starts winning the battle. In fact, he does the whole thing where he gets the high ground and he shoves him down and buries him. And then Obi-Wan remembers Luke and Leia and gets the power and comes back strong. That shit was cool. But then slices his helmet open and Vader's down. He stabs his computer, his fucking computer panel, which is great. And Vader's down and he decides to have mercy on him and doesn't kill him, which, okay, whatever. We know he's not going to die. And then the next thing we see is Vader on Mustafar and he's checking in with Palpatine, who's played by Ian McDiarmid. And he's like, "I will get Ben Kenobi. Don't worry." And the Emperor's like, "I think your past is making you weak." And he's just like, "Just kidding. I only serve you, master." And just flips. And then they play the fucking Death the Empire March, which was awesome. But then he just goes, "Oh, Kenobi's nothing. I will serve you." I'm like, why did he stop going after Obi-Wan at that point? Like, did he never, ever go after him again?
That's bad writing right
What the
there.
fuck is that?
That's like the Emperor said. The Emperor should have been like, "I forbid you to fucking go after him.
He's just
You're
like,
going to get killed."
Yeah, no. He's like, "Your past is making you weak." He's like, "Oh, never mind. He's nothing." I'm like, okay. I did love also at the very end when Owen lets Ben talk to Luke and he does the "hello there" line, which is great because that's the first line Alec Guinness has in A New Hope in Star Wars.
When they meet in A New Hope, was it like they already knew each other? I forgot.
No, so Luke Skywalker just knew of this guy who lives in the desert, crazy old Ben. So he doesn't even remember this, that he was chased and almost killed by this crazy lady. I don't know.
Well, he got knocked out.
He did get knocked out because he fell, because he's a dumb kid.
But I mean, he lives in Tatooine. There's fucking Tusken Raiders constantly shooting at him.
Yeah,
There's all kinds of.
I wouldn't go as far as saying because he got chased by that lady, he would make the connection to Obi-Wan.
And so he does meet Ben once. I don't know what else they say, but then Ben fucks off and just rides off into the desert.
He's completely unrecognizable when he comes back. He looks like a completely different dude.
And you know what? The age does actually match up a little bit. Alec Guinness was like 61 in A New Hope. Ewan McGregor's about 51. And there is 10 years difference between this show and the next time we see him. So you could realistically, if he lived in the desert, he left his cave. So I don't know where he's going. They didn't really. Ewan McGregor said he'd come back for a season 2, but the showrunners said we saw this as a limited series. So would you want a season 2? There's still more stories to shoehorn in this.
Well, we already got the big story, which is him versus Darth Vader. There's nothing really. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like there's like a lot of things where Obi-Wan was trying to hook up with a girl on Mandalore, and that she gets killed. Remember, like he was kind of flirtatious with the leader of Mandalore.
Oh yeah,
that's the thing. See, like I also thought it was awkward that they did. Why did they go to the Attack of the Clones era? Obi-Wan
for the flashback.
Yeah, like there's a whole like it would have been awesome. It would have been awesome if they did Clone Wars Anakin and Obi-Wan was wearing the fucking Clone Wars armor that he wears.
Oh, right.
And number one, it would give legitimacy to the Clone Wars. It would be age accurate. Like at that point, Anakin's like, about as old as he is in Revenge of the Sith. So that age is better than Attack of the Clones when he's like a teenager. And the de-aging wouldn't have been so crazy. You know what I mean? It was just a weird time period for them to do that battle. Yeah,
and he looked old when he was supposed to be like 19. That was a really weird.
Yeah, I just thought it was an odd choice. Like they didn't have to go back that far to make that scene make sense.
Yeah,
and it would be cool to see Obi-Wan in that costume and Anakin in that other suit that he has.
There's this one article that has this theory that, and I think it's true, how every episode of Obi-Wan reflects the Star Wars Skywalker saga movies, because the episodes themselves were called episode 1 through 6. They didn't have a title. So every episode lines up with the movies 1 through 6 in some kind of fashion. Some of it's a stretch that they say, but I can see what they're getting at. Like and I think they just wanted to pay tribute and have a little Easter egg like these line up. But I do think this would have been better as a movie because you could have tightened it up. And I just wanted to see Anakin and Obi-Wan fucking fight. And they showed me that. I could have used more of that and more Kumail Nanjiani. Always.
Definitely think it would have been better as a movie.
All right. Well, let's rate this. Anthony, was it satisfying overall? What would you give it?
Not as bad as Boba Fett.
Okay.
Not at all close to Mandalorian.
Okay.
I forgot what I rated Boba Fett. I hope I rated it low, but if I didn't, I should rate it lower. So I'm going to go with this show being a 5.5 out of 10.
Shit. Okay.
I mean, it's completely stretched. The best parts of it are the nostalgia. A lot of it really, really relies on the fact that you're so invested in seeing the old characters and baby versions of these characters back. Ewan McGregor is still pretty good. Vader is badass, but again, stretched out. The Reva subplot's not all that intriguing for me, and really bad staging on a lot of shit. And a lot of the sets are really cheap looking. I don't know what's going on. Looks like a TV show at some point. So really, again, like I said at the start, mixed bag, 5.5 out of 10. It is the third best of the live action Star Wars shows that have been on Disney
so
Plus.
far. Okay. Ruggs, what do you got?
I think I forgot what my thoughts were. I feel like that the tone was good. I think the direction's not the greatest, the writing's not the greatest, all of that stuff. And some of the shots with Leia, being kind of hokey. But overall, I think the tone was good. I felt like it felt not like quite like Star Wars, but it felt like an earnest telling of a story.
Okay.
The tone seemed like it was serious. Vader was menacing. There wasn't like cheap jokes all the time.
Yeah.
They tried to make it legitimate. And so I liked the tone of it. And I did think that some of the acting was good enough to like drive some of the weak writing to another place to elevate it a little bit. So I'm going to give it a 6.5. Not the best Star Wars stuff, but not the worst. Really, like the two biggest problems is the writing, the Disneyfication of characters where you can't allow them to be evil. Like, let Reva be evil. Let Reva fucking be a badass, the next emperor. Like, and she fucking fails at doing that. That makes her way more interesting to me. So I think that the Disneyfication of stuff kind of holds people back from like making good stories and makes it predictable and formulaic. So they had that working against them, but they still managed to make something worth watching to a degree. I don't know. It's not the greatest. It's serviceable. That's the way I'll say.
Okay. You said 6.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, overall, now thinking back at the whole thing, I found it generally satisfying, but I agree a lot with you, Ruggs. Like the acting is top notch. Some of the special effects, seeing Vader was great, but the writing that was the issue. It was uneven, and at some parts it's clunky and stuff don't make sense. But again, in the original trilogy, they were fucking retconning things as they were going. So I can excuse some of that. And to me, some of the good stuff almost excuses a lot of the bad shit. I would give it a 7 overall. I mean, I enjoyed seeing Ewan McGregor back. He did a great job, and the Vader shit, and it's got Kumail in it, so I can't be completely mad. Also,
yeah, I knew that.
Ice Cube's son is in there, who could have used a little bit more. I thought he did a decent job. O'Shea Jackson Jr.
You had Indira Varma in there.
Indira Varma, yeah.
You could have casted anyone
in that role.
That guy that played Ice Cube's son.
That is true.
He literally that is like the most generic thing he had. Most generic role ever.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of these movie roles in these action movies, like he was in Godzilla versus Kong, like he's just kind of has generic like type. But I want to see more. He did great playing his father in that fucking movie. That was amazing.
Right.
But yeah, it probably would have been better tightened up as a movie in the original plan, and you can kind of see where they've padded it out
Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
Panicking once Solo happens, and then unmothballing it once Mandalorian.
You got to
happens.
stay the course. Diamond hands. Everybody knows.
Go with what works. So maybe, I don't know if we'll get another season. We'll see what they think of the reactions of people. But I'm excited for Mandalorian to come back and show me the fucking crown jewel of the Star Wars on TV. So yeah, so far their TV track record, it's kind of 50-50 there. Mostly, you know. All right.
They're just having a tough time figuring out stuff outside of the Mandalorian.
But there's going to be a lot more Star Wars coming. So they have a lot more opportunities.
You need a good director, and you need, not that there was a bad director, but you need a good action director. That's one of the, that would, as bad as the show is, let's say the show doesn't change at all. Just the action sequences are just shot better.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're elevating that
it a lot better.
You're going to be like, okay, but look how badass the scene is. It's so badass. I'm willing to forgive everything.
I thought the lightsaber battles are fucking pretty good, though. I like them.
I feel like they were okay, but if they were shot better, they would be amazing.
He does the pose, too. It's fucking
he
classic
does. He
Ben
does do the pose.
It's great. Okay, let's check in with the listeners and see what they thought of the Obi-Wan finale. News from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. Oh.
Wow.
Whoa.
That had some fucking...
That was
It
wet.
stinks. It stinks.
That one,
It
you immediately
stinks.
know your underwear are done for that day.
I had back to tank juice in my asshole.
That reminded me of the latest episode of The Boys for some reason. That's a Boys level fart in that fucking episode. Woo. All right.
It was appropriate.
It was appropriate. We got some comments about this finale from our listeners. Chris Williams just writes, no Mace with a thumbs down. Were we expecting Mace Windu? That might have been cool. Sam Jackson could have saved the show.
I had no expectation whatsoever, but
no, you didn't know. I don't think he's dead. We just saw him fly out the window. We never saw him explicitly killed. He's somewhere. Rick Martinez says
lame
to the Qui-Gon Jinn appearance. Just that. Thought it was lame. The very last minute. Liam Neeson's busy making Taken 5, 6, 7, and 8. I don't know what he's doing. John Bellotti Jr., our admin of the group, says the Rock fight was good. I enjoyed every scene with Anakin and Vader. Everything else, like newly minted badass, formerly meek Aunt Beru and Reva's story, were lame. Another lame. Blake Braden posted the screenshot of Vader with the one side of his helmet sliced off. He says, coolest part of the entire series. I enjoyed how they sequenced both voices as Vader was talking. Yeah, that shit was dope. Also, they used that same re-speecher technology. I don't think that was James Earl Jones. I think that was AI James Earl Jones de-aged and an AI spit out those lines like they did with the Luke Skywalker.
Is he still alive?
He is. Okay. But he sounds like a young James Earl Jones, right? In this. Like he doesn't sound
young, firm
I
James.
don't know. He sounds the same, but I haven't heard him speak as an old man.
He does not sound. He sounds a little deeper and gruffer now. He's 91 years old, so he sounds like a 91-year-old.
Jesus Christ!
And you were looking at like a mid-20s Vader or whatever how old he is. So,
well, yeah,
they made him sound younger, and his lines were great. Irvin Dela Cruz says, overall, the show was okay for me. Felt like it was merely a shell of the prequels, which aren't my favorites. The Obi-Vader fight was good, but not quite as good as Episode 3 prequels. I did love the hello there at the end. All in all, I'd say it was an 8 out of 10 for me. All right, it's a good score.
Okay, but an 8?
He said it was okay, an 8 out of 10. Even I gave it a 7 out of 10. I was going to go 7.5, but I think I landed on 7. But I kind of liked it. Jamie Robinson.
Am I surprised? No.
I mean, I kind of did because I had fucking Darth Vader and Kumail and Johnny. What more do you need? Jamie Robinson, Mr. Throwback Thursday, who we did Hudson Hawk for last week. He says the whole series was like watching Lord of the Rings sped up, just a bunch of running.
Oh, shit.
Okay, it's fair. I can see that. There was a lot of running. People just running around.
I like running.
I like when Tom Cruise runs. It's very impactful. And then, speaking of Jamie Robinson, like I said, last week we did Hudson Hawk for Jamie Robinson, and this was his pick, and we asked him, what do you feel about this movie? Why did you pick it? And he has answered Here is his response. He says, at the heart of Hudson Hawk is a story of a guy who just wants a cup of coffee. He's the greatest thief in New York, and he's gone to prison after getting caught for doing a job for the Mario Brothers. This movie does admittedly go in about 12 different directions, but it is such a fun movie. There's a lot. I'm not going to read all of it. I'm just going to get to the end. He says, you cannot take this movie too seriously or you will not like it. Rocky Horror is a shit story, but a great film to experience. This is in the same vein. Oh, and why does Eddie know the exact times for all the songs? That's how he knew how much time he had to get in and out. Depending on how much time he allotted for the job, he would sing a song with the same amount of time. Between fucking airbags and the Whitney Houston Super Bowl nation anthem time, this movie rocks. So Jamie Robinson he said he had a good time when he saw it the first time. Admits it's stupid, but the right kind of stupid. So I get that. I can get that.
I understand his perspective. It's one of those movies. I said this in a comment to him, but it's a love it or hate it movie. There's not going to be an in between on this one.
Yeah, he says it's a happy little accident movie, and it will just make you laugh.
I wouldn't say I hate it. I just, I've seen it once. I don't want to watch it again.
I enjoyed laughing at the ridiculousness of it, so it was entertaining. Okay, let's finish up.
There was not 1 minute of that movie I think.
No,
there was not very many minutes of that movie I enjoyed. I'll put it like that. I would say there were some minutes, but not very many.
Not many. There's definitely some minutes you can enjoy. What are we watching, fellas? Quick thoughts on what do you want to talk about? Miss Marvel, episode 3, still watching that?
Yeah, I watched it.
What'd you think, Ruggs?
What happens in episode 3? She's fine.
Is the wedding?
I feel like we're veering away from the character.
Oh, let's do spoiler alert. Well, 3 is her brother's wedding, and we find out where the bracelet comes from.
Yeah, I don't like this.
You don't like this?
I don't like the bracelet and the thing. I don't like all of this. I like the Terrigen thing.
Yeah.
They're trying to get around that.
Right.
By using this other thing. Yeah. And I'm like, this is not as cool, or I don't know. It just kind of changes the character a lot.
It does. I like the mystery.
So I'm not sure I like it, but like I don't like the superhero stuff. I like the stuff that's just her and like her friends and like her, learning about all this stuff. That's interesting, more interesting than superhero stuff to me because we've seen it all and a lot cooler. So like, the thing that really interests me is what's going on in her personal life and things like that. The superhero stuff, I feel like it actually bogs it down.
Yeah, I can see that a little bit. We did get to see a Pakistani wedding, and I guarantee none of those people showed up on time. Everyone was late.
Yeah, they were all on time, Imran.
I don't know. They didn't show me when the posted time was. I could pretty much.
I didn't see anybody complaining about the food.
The
hungry.
Food is always great, though. And dance, they get a little.
You said you have to wait for food a lot.
And yeah, sometimes. Maybe it's changed. Anthony, what'd you think of the episode and the fight scene? She finally kind of gets a fight scene here, right?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, the fight scene is a little unbelievable in that she's fighting these guys that have been around forever and she's kind of holding her own. But,
Immortals.
Superheroes, whatever. I still like the show. I think I like the inner conflicts of like she's this hero, but then one of her friends has a different take on the hero and doesn't like the hero, and I like how it's the Pakistani the government's like trying to raid this Pakistani place and they're sticking up for her. I think I like everything about it, really. I'm not I don't have very many complaints. I'm along for a ride, and surprisingly, like I didn't read any of the comics, so I have no attachment to anything that was in the comics for this. Surprisingly, I'm not the target demo, but I'm pleased so far.
I mean, I still think it's fucking great. I'm digging the show. Them walking into the mosque with their shoes on. Oh, the disrespect.
The thing is,
I enjoy all those things. Yeah.
The guy that her partner is like, just don't walk, like says like, don't walk in with your shoes.
Yeah. Then he goes, next time, take your shoes.
Yeah.
That and so the most interesting thing is them incorporating the jinn,
right?
DJINN, which in Islam is their ghosts, but they're also kind of like angels. Like Muslims believe these people are real. So there was a bunch of Muslims who were upset that they're trivializing the jinn as a thing. But now this whole idea that her great grandmother was part of this group, the clandestines that live forever. Did you notice? I didn't know this the first time, but I saw this. Someone posted a screenshot of when we're in the past and they're standing on top. The shot on top where they're standing, you can faintly see the 10 rings carved into the ground. So she pulled that bracelet off like an alien hand or something. What the fuck? It was a severed arm.
Yeah.
They couldn't find the other one. That was crazy. And now she's got to go to Karachi.
I like there's some good cliffhangers. I think like they're, in terms of the show, they're writing it more episodically than episodes past. So like this one ends and you're going, oh, how the fuck she has to go to Karachi? How the fuck did her grandma know what just happened
She saw the train. Yeah, I love the mystery and I love the peek into like what they're showing is so good.
I like the style too in terms of music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like every episode has had some sort of old school or some sort of like song. So the first episode had The Weeknd. I forgot what happened last week. They had some hip hop song, but this week they had Bon Jovi.
Oh yeah, my God, Brown Jovi, the cover
Brown Jovi was great.
Awesome.
All that stuff's great. All of
But I see Ruggs' point. The superhero stuff might be the least interesting out of all of it.
Yeah, we're talking everything that we're talking about that we really like is like really not really superhero related. It's more about just the characters and their interactions and all like the little like nuggets that you get from all like the unique perspectives that you get. Those are all interesting to me. Yeah. I hope it pays off because I want to go to Karachi. I want to see what happens there.
Yeah, I think we're gonna meet the Red Dagger as like another character in the show. Here's another interesting discussion we've been having about the show with me and my sister, and then my sister, this family friend of the family, was my sister's age. We grew up with. She's she's an adult and she has children, and so they've all been watching the show. And she's pointed out that like the whole way the family, the generations is set up is kind of like off by a generation in terms that Kamala's parents would be like my age. I would be, and Kamala's kids would be the next generation. So my sister's friend would be like the parents, but that generation,
Kamala's kids.
Not,
wait, stop. What are you talking?
I mean, Kamala. So because we were confused as her grandmother, it's her great grandmother was alive during the partition. That tracks, right? Timeline wise, when that happened, 1947. That tracks. So,
and her great grandma was like a 20-year-old, or a 30-year-old.
So yeah, she must have been an adult. So the grandma is like my mom's generation, right? Kamala's parents would be my generation, but my generation wouldn't have an accent and have like just gotten here because the point is my sister's friend, her kids are Kamala's age, and they watched the show and they were like, I can't really relate to anything Kamala is going through because my parents are like fully American, right? They're westernized because they grew up here. They're not like, so it's like off a generation, but they want to do that first generation immigrant experience.
Well, I believe that people are still coming.
They are still coming. Yeah. That could be.
Yeah. I don't have.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe because you guys are closer to it, but I don't see that being an issue.
But no, it does work, but it was kind of interesting how they wanted to deal. I mean, like you have to deal with the first generation experience before you can get to the second generation, which now that generation has kids, so it's been that long.
I love that Cameron, like, they built him up to be kind of a douche, and he's not. He's helping her out.
Yeah,
and he keeps calling Bruno Brian.
Brian, he goes, he knows what my name is. I thought he was going to be a bad guy, but then when he sees what the mom's doing, he goes and flips. So that was interesting. Also, one of my favorite lines, I think it was last episode when they were she was pretending he was a cousin, and the brother's like, oh, I remember you. We used to call you Haram.Comron for looking things up on the internet. I thought that was funny. There's some good shit, man, and I can't wait till we review the whole thing because the details of the Pakistani culture is just it's great. There's a lot of things they get right. I want to talk about all of them. How are we on The Boys? So we have 6 episodes out, and the last one. Oh, you did?
I think I'm caught up on that as well.
#HeroGasm, the big episode.
I think I finished it. That's it, right?
There's 6. Yeah, there's 2 more left. There's 2 more episodes to come out. Again, it's kind of spoilers. But I just thought it was funny how they were hyping this up to be the most like deviant, debauched, fucking craziest X-rated thing. And it ends up being kind of tame, the thing itself.
Well, wait a minute. It's not tame.
But it wasn't as crazy as I thought. But I thought episode 6 was like the strongest episode so far. Like outside of the HeroGasm, using that as a setting, this orgy, the shit that happened is the shit we wanted. We were talking about we wanted to see. And we kind of got
the only thing I didn't like about episode 6 is that they were fighting in the most strongest room ever created, because they got thrown up against that door like about 50 times and it never broke.
Reinforced.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that shit was made out of fucking adamantium.
That's a good point. I loved this episode.
It was so good.
This is what we've been building to, in seeing Homelander kind of scared for once, and this is that episode. And yeah, I mean, I think the show keeps getting better and better.
Fuck, I think so too. Every episode.
The only criticism I would have is like some of the side plot stuff isn't as interesting as the main Homelander stuff. So like when they cut away to Frenchie and Kimiko, it's like I don't really care about this as much.
Yeah.
Although I like those characters. And then the only other thing is the show is not subtle, so even in its messages, it's very heavy-handed in what it wants to tell you.
Yeah.
I think it could be a little more subtle, but it's just not the style of the show.
I mean,
they're clearly making Homelander Trump.
Yes. And have you seen the articles online about, let's just say, right-wing fans of the show being confused now that Homelander is a villain? I think this shit is hilarious. Like, they don't know what to make of this now. They don't understand that Homelander is the villain.
They don't understand that?
No, they're like, wait a minute. Yeah, it confuses.
I don't believe that
at all.
I saw a bunch of articles like that. I was like, that shit is hilarious.
That's got to be written by people on the left, because it's clear from the beginning Homelander is a villain.
Yes, it's obvious. He's laser.
I don't think they're
jerking off the side of a building. That's not something.
Yeah, I don't think people labeled on the right are so stupid to watch a show about 3 seasons in and think Homelander's the villain now.
Wait a minute. Why is he
that's asinine. Come on, Imran. You're better than that.
I just read. I saw a couple articles. I don't know who wrote it. You're probably right, but I like thinking that that's happening because that
no
shit
one's
is fun.
thinking that.
Okay, you may be right because it's clear. But again, the 3-on-1 fucking battle,
great,
phenomenal, and Anthony Starr doing the mirror back and forth with him. Holy shit, he needs to get an Emmy.
Best, what's his face?
Moon Knight, a little bit.
No. He's best.
William Dafoe.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
right out. Of it.
Norman Osborn from the Raimi movies. But fuck, he is amazing. He should definitely get an Emmy, and to see him suffer a defeat and then just fuck off.
Homelander is one of the more interesting characters that they've ever written.
But there's something about Butcher and Huey also being on V that I'm enjoying that storyline.
It's great.
All of it. This show, you're exactly right. Every episode gets fucking better. It's amazing. It's so well written.
Mother's Milk did some good acting too.
Oh my god, he got covered in some Mother's Milk. That was gross.
Oh my god, it was not a Mother's Milk.
It's your daddy's.
That was a bukkake. He walked into a bukkake party.
Bukkake candy.
There was a dick on fire. Come on. What other show will give you a dick on fire?
Yeah, Jesus. I think you're just so desensitized by this show that
it doesn't matter.
That scene and anything else would have been like, what the fuck? This is nuts.
I thought it was going to be a lot worse. Like when they were talking about hero guys.
I don't think they can go any farther.
I don't think they can. I know. I mean,
we watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, where there's things going up people's ass.
Yeah, and then you had boobies everywhere. That was also that was great.
I mean, you had the Iceman making an ice dildo and shoving it up some prostitutes.
That was wild.
He shoved it up.
That was wild. But then, fucking Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy. Jensen Ackles also doing a great job as Soldier Boy.
I like Jensen Ackles a lot.
What a character.
I love, the line where he goes, Bill Cosby, that's America's dad.
Oh, my God.
And he's like, man, that guy made some strong drinks.
Oh, shit. That's fantastic. And they were like, should we tell him?
Huey's just like, what the fuck?
He's babysitting. It was great. Comes from that's what it would be like if Steve Rogers came back, right? This is
right.
That's more realistic. Sure. That's how he would act. But fuck, the show continues to be phenomenal. 2 episodes left.
Of course, it's great.
We will review the finale in the end when it ends. And then
the only other thing too about that show I would just say is not even a criticism, but like everyone is just such a deplorable human being. Like the only 2 good people right now are Mother's Milk and Starlight. Like they're the only people that have any like humanity left. Everyone's just turned into like
Huey's
deplorable
gone.
human beings.
Yeah, even Huey.
Yeah, Huey's like, oh yeah, I don't give let him kill everybody. It's the end result's worth it.
Yeah, he's turned into. He's like, we got to be fucked up as they are. And Starlight blows up their spot at the end. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it ends on a
that's
nice
not
cliffhanger.
good.
I was literally wincing in pain when Kumiko was getting punched in the
Oh,
the
God.
wound.
Is she going to get her fucking powers back? What's going on?
And then she stabs the shit out of the guy with a nail. It's like, oh my God.
That was satisfying and, yeah, hard to watch.
Yeah.
Or Kumiko. And the whole thing about Frenchie, just like, he just is good at taking, like, orders. He needs someone to tell him what to do. I don't know. That's odd. It's kind of weird.
Oh, and even, I was like, man, this is brutal. When fucking,
A-Train.
yeah, when he just runs Blue Hawk through the fucking ground.
Oh, fucking hell.
My
Man,
God.
Blue Hawk, when he goes to apologize and he ends up going, Super Lives Matter, and then tosses people around, like, that went so bad. And I guess A-Train is making that movie to Africa. Is A-Train dead, though? Did he use up? It sounded like his heart stopped beating.
He kind of had his redemption, right? Because he apologizes to Huey.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was a great scene, too. From the first scene of the whole show.
Yeah.
He brings it up because Huey's got Compound V. He feels a little confident. He's like, I'm going to tell you what I think now.
It's very good. It's a very good
so
show.
good. It's so good.
It's my favorite one out of the three that I've been watching. And I like Miss Marvel a lot, but it's my favorite.
Yeah, it's they're different shows, but it's fucking.
Oh yeah.
What else do you got?
I forgot to mention last week, Umbrella Academy season 3 is out now.
Didn't watch.
Have not watched it. Let's ask you on the show though. At some point, do you want us to watch it to review? Because we've done the first 2 seasons.
Yeah. This season actually is pretty good. I've watched 6 out of 10, and yes, we've done the first 2 seasons. I think it's you know, again, it's one of those shows. It's in the middle. It's not as crazy as Doom Patrol, but not as like real as The Boys, but it has its own flavor. The characters are great. It's a really good season. I would like to review it.
Okay.
I haven't watched yet because I've been knee deep in The Offer.
Oh, how is The Offer? I heard that wasn't that good, but it was decent.
Oh, I fucking think it's great.
Okay, so tell people what The Offer is. It's on AMC.
The Offer is just a story of how The Godfather is made.
Yeah.
And it's an unlikely story, but it has, if you're not into the 70s and like movie making at that time and Bob Evans, like the great producer and how like he fucking was running Hollywood.
The sausage maker? No.
Yeah. The sausage
Bob
maker.
Evans sausages.
So yeah, Robert Evans was like a major player at Paramount and he was like making movies his way, like doing shit, you know, kind of like against the grain. And they're making a movie that Hollywood wouldn't have made otherwise if it wasn't for Bob Evans. So it's very interesting to me anyway.
It's a dramatic series.
It may not be for everyone. You might think it's boring.
Who's in this? Oh, Miles Teller and Giovanni Ribisi, Colin Hanks.
Right.
Lou Ferrigno. Oh.
Lou Ferrigno is in it.
Ferrigno's in it.
Yeah, it's very good.
I was going to check it out and I didn't get around to it. I might check it out.
Imran, you have to give us a date by when you want us to
Umbrella Academy?
Yeah.
I'll give you like 3 weeks ish.
All right.
The next few weeks, next couple weeks, because we got a lot of things that are wrapping up, and then we can throw in the Umbrella Academy.
When did The Boys? We'll discuss this after the show.
The Boys has 2 more weeks to go. Yeah, and Miss Marvel has 3 more.
Okay, so then probably after that.
After all that, after Top Gun Maverick, when we do Umbrella Academy.
All right.
So by the end of the month, we'll get there. It's a good season.
Okay.
I like it. Out this week, Stranger Things fans, the second half of Volume 4. It will be out on July 1st. I think it's just 2 movie-length episodes. I'm looking forward to this. I like the first half, even though it was long in parts and wheel-spinny in parts. Ruggs, did you ever finish the whole first
I did
part?
finish the first part.
I like where it ends. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, I thought it was good overall. Yeah.
So
I felt like, it was very decompressed, and I feel like they wasted a lot of time.
They get stuck with like 11 at the facility for a while, and I was like, what is this? Why is she still
let's
here?
get this over with.
But then you find out why, and you're like, oh, fuck. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I kind of knew that was going to happen.
Oh, you did? I didn't see that coming. Okay. Maybe we'll review it when it ends. Probably not. I don't know.
Well, it took a page out of Akira.
Oh.
You know, the first one is the evil one that fucking fucks up everything.
Yeah, never trust the first one of anything. Same thing in Squid Games. Remember 001, the old man?
Yeah, but like in Akira, like, you know, he's the first one. He explodes everything. He creates all the fucking thing. And then they have all these other ones that are not so good. And all of a sudden, Tetsuo gets the power.
He's like 11,
He's like 11.
Yeah.
And he does the same shit 11
Holy
does.
shit,
like
it is Akira.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
definitely an influence.
Wow. Oh, Victoria Newman's story arc is pretty good too in The Boys so far. I even like what they're doing with her.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of popping heads,
she's a head popper.
She's a head popper. All right, that's it for this week, everybody. Ruggs, where can the listener find you online?
You can find me online at Really Brugboy on Twitter.
And you can follow him and you can follow us at Jock and Nerdcast on Twitter. All these links are on our website in the show description for this episode. Check them out. Share the show. Send it, text it, tweet it to all your Star Wars fans or any other geek friends you have. We'd appreciate it. Word of mouth always helps us out. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the Nerd.
We'll catch you next time. That's the wrong button.
How dare you do this to us? My balls are hot.
My balls are hot.
Ah, yes. I see that you know your judo well.
Get your hand off my penis.
Get your hand off my penis!
Ah, there you go.